starting. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm here with some people. Zodi is asleep right now, or he's taking a space virtual nap, but he'll come in when he can, and I'm here with a special guest.
What's up, guys? You guys know who Blobs is, but Blobs and I and Zodi will do these coverage. We'll do like a podcast style kind of coverage, giving our thoughts about recent content that's been announced on JP. And I'm happy to join for this one because the 5-year anniversary, there was a ton announced, and you just kind of want to just go over it and talk about it and kind of give you guys our thoughts on it. But thank you for having me, Blobs.
Yeah, there's been a ton of news and some good quality of life changes, some big interesting reworks coming out, and some very special BTs. I mean, quality of life stuff has already been pretty. How do I put it? A lot of people have already liked the changes that already came out, like the quality of life for 70/70 for whenever you get a new character. I know that a lot of people like showing screenshots of them jumping from whatever the rank they are from like 900 and gaining like 30,000 to 20,000 gems and potions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very nice add-on.
Oh, totally. And I think for new players, the cool thing about that is if anybody that decides to start JP Opera Omnia as a new player, all you have to do is clear the tutorial, which is Act 1, Chapter 1, and the game guides you on how to do that. And once you do that, any character that you unlock from then on out is insta level 70 and crystal passive level 70, and any summon you have is automatically bumped up to level 20. So they've done a lot to really tone down the grind. And I know when it comes to gacha games, grinding is like one of the biggest factors that can either keep somebody playing the game or completely turn somebody off. So having a quality of life implemented like that is fantastic, to be able to skip ahead like that. And at the same time, guys, this was a question that was asked, right, Blobs, where people were wondering, or what's going to happen to the gems that I earn for every 10 levels that I earn? You actually just earn them.
Yeah, you get
right away.
Yeah, you get them all immediately. So that's why like those people that that log on, they have like a bunch of like unbuilt characters. They jump up immediately to like rank 500 to even higher like ranks immediately, and you just get a surplus of gems. And this quality of life changes removes that remedial beginning grind that usually a lot of people like just don't like, because it's not fun really, because you're just doing the same content over and over and over again.
Exactly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, did they completely remove the Divine World of Illusions and as well as the original summon trials, not the summon boards, because I know that you still got to do summon boards, right?
Yes. So the only thing it removed was the trials for level 1 to 20 summons. So and very nice change they made is they finally grouped up they individually tabbed the Divine Illusions content. So if you're doing like if you get a new character and you need to summon board them, there's a special tab with I think it was Materia on the tab, and you can click on that one and then it shows all 10 of the summon boards, so that way you don't accidentally click on the Divine boards and accidentally go into that, and you can individually see each 10 boards, which is
wow,
nice.
That's a crazy upgrade. That really is. And yeah. I mean, hopefully Global gets some of these quality of life changes early. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's always a possibility that I could bring something like this to Global early, but seeing it now on JP is really nice because we know what's ahead for Global, and we never know. Global might even get like a better version of these upgrades, because you know how they like to give Global the better treatment between the two.
Yeah.
So
then we finally got the weapon armor token update, so then now we can we don't have to just individually click buy one armor at a time, and we just buy all of them, and then we can see how many armors we have, and we don't have to like overbuy a armor if that happens, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good, because I've done that before on JP, oddly enough, and I've done it live on stream, and I've been called out on it. So that's nice that at least JP's finally getting that. Global got that right away, so yeah. Good that JP's finally getting it.
I have a couple of too many high armors that I can't sell.
Yeah.
But besides
So what?
that, the sorting of like what characters are good at is a very nice update, and also I think Rem also is going to be adding a feature on the Cydia DB too, so that you can sort through like those characters, and also he has a special tab on his Discord, so then you can figure out where like what each character excels in. But in game, it's very nice. But however, I can't really use that feature much because I don't read Japanese.
Right, right. Well, I think if that feature is ever brought early on to global, I think what it'll do for players who are still kind of learning the game or newer is it could kind of educate them on what a character can do. So then they don't always, so because I have seen questions asked about, oh, what does this character do? What's their role, right? And these are mainly newer players or players that have recently returned to the game. And I think having that functionality can actually help educate players in understanding what these characters actually do. So then when they actually jump into, let's say, battle or a difficult boss fight with this character, they kind of already have an idea of what their role is and what their specialty is, and it won't be necessarily as difficult to learn them. For example, a character like Noctis, I think that would be super helpful for that feature to be able to tell a player, oh, this is what Noctis does based on the criteria that you selected in, this, with what a character does. So I think it's super helpful.
Yeah, it simplifies the learning process and makes the game a little bit less daunting. But I think there's one little downside to this little new feature is that if you have a character like Camelot, I accidentally ran on while I was going through the feature and like looking through characters, and it's like Camelot has a bunch of tabs on his character sheet because he does ice damage, he's melee, he delays, he has debuffs.
Mm-hmm.
He has a bunch of stats that he's excel in. So there's a lot of like some characters are going to be like checking off like every single criteria. So, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But it's just so that you can see what they do.
Right, right. No, I can see your point where it might be a little bit overwhelming to kind of determine when a character is doing like multiple things. That I could see how it could be a hindrance. I mean, same thing with a character like Locke, for example. Locke does so many different things too. So it's hard to really classify exactly what his main role is. So I could see how that could be, kind of difficult to use as far as like a quality of life functionality. But all in all, I think it's a good one.
Yeah, and also they do kind of like separate like the skills and like what skills and buffs like those skills provide as like a locked portion of the tab. So then like if you unlock the BT for, let's say, Yuri, he unlocks like, let's say, I think, or the FR, the Holy Enchant to the party. So if you get that, then you'll see that you can search for that kind of criteria and not just you won't have to search for like, let's say, Holy Enchant and only see like Aiko, or you see like Yuri and then say, oh wait, this is Holy Enchant. It's like, oh, I need his FR to do that. So then it kind of shows you which are available at the moment to your account.
Right, yeah, and that's another way that the functionality could be useful. So all in all, great. I think it's a great upgrade and a great tool to have in the game.
Yeah. And this other change was the Dissidia point shop being changed. So you know those power stones that cost 900 per week? They finally changed them from 900 to 200, and you can trade up to 10 of them per week. So you spend 2,000 Dissidia points and you get 10 power stones, which is very nice. As well as they updated the maximum Dissidia points you can have from 3k to 5k. Which is very nice.
That is definitely a really nice upgrade, and I think when it comes to being able to buy 10 power stones at 200 each, that's super useful, especially as we get closer and closer to the force weapon era in global. It's going to be very, very important to hold on to those regular power stones that you have, because you're going to find that limit breaking a force weapon takes a lot of resources, and sometimes like you're gonna find yourself pulling for a force weapon, and then you go back to limit break it, and you're like, oh shoot, I don't have enough, because it costs 240 regular power stones, and you convert those into 12 of the high power stones, and 240 is a lot. Like I used to have like 2k plus until I made a very big mistake of doing an auto sell when Kane FR first came out, because I was just really excited, and then I realized how much of a mistake that was, and then I saw other people doing it, and then just read up that like, yeah, it takes this many resources. So understanding this, having this functionality now is super helpful, and again, hopefully this is something that could come out early onto the global side of the game.
Yeah, and then because usually at the start of the FR era, it's like I've been holding off on building a lot of characters just because I don't want to use Power Stones, and I just didn't have the space or the breathing room with Power Stones to build certain characters. Like, I have Ursula's full kit, I have her FR, her LD, her EX, everything, but I was like, don't really want to build her because I don't need her FR, and also just don't have the Power Stones to finish off the building her. But yeah,
I mean, there's always the route where you could try to pull for FR dupes, because FR dupes will save you from having to use your Power Stones, but I mean, realistically, most players in this game are not mega whales, so it's not really recommended to try to even chase FR dupes. Like, once you get the FR, usually just stop right there and be done, you know. But there are those people that want to chase the FR dupes because they can be useful to save you some resources, but it's just a gamble that I don't think is worth it, personally.
Chances are you're probably going to get multiple LDs that you don't need.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, we can talk about the new Shinryu Spirit and Summon Board stuff, which is pretty nice and interesting with the Spirit's difficulty. And so they have, I think, information for the brothers, like level 50 information and blessing has been translated. So for anyone wondering what level 50 brothers does, the condition for the 30% max brave condition is going to be removed, so you don't need to have a certain amount of HP anymore. The actual attack is going to trigger twice, so you're going to have to, so the bosses are going to be delayed by 2 turns. Instead of doing 12,000 damage, the damage has been increased to 120,000 damage.
Jeez.
I mean, on paper it looks cool, but at the same time, it's like, they didn't really add too much to brothers, unlike Bahamut and like Ifrit and like Leviathan, where they gave you that short-term like buff that really amped up your damage and gave you something unique. Because I really wish that brothers got like something like, oh, you got bigger 8 max brave cap wild and summon. Instead, it's like you delay them by 2 turns and then they deal and they hit a little bit harder than summon. It's like, that's okay. It's like during the summon phase, I want to be able to like clean up or deal like a very, very large chunk of damage to the bosses.
Right. I can see your point there, but it is a pretty massive upgrade when you look at it on paper. I mean, dealing 12k damage to 120k with 2 HP dumps is definitely a lot better than before. But yeah, as far as like the actual blessing and the actual effect while you're in the summon, I think you could have gotten a little bit more than that, but at least they removed the condition. And I mean, we're probably gonna see some crazy upgraded effects when, like, let's say like Ifrit, for example, or Odin get like a level 50, or Shiva gets a level 50. We're probably going to see something more, if there's something similar, if not more. So this is kind of like their test phase, you know, where they start off with a summon, and usually the first summon to get an upgrade is not necessarily the best. Like, it's decent, but not the best. Yeah. So and it's also kind of a way for them to, I know that we don't really pay attention to summons too much, but it gives other summons like a chance to take the spotlight, you know. So, like, I remember when Brothers was actually used a lot.
Yeah,
back, I think.
Useful.
Yeah, it was actually one of the better summons. Somebody brought up, what about Chocobo and Silf?
We don't know those two. Those two have been in Summon Board Purgatory for God knows how long.
Yeah, I don't know about those two. Not even a level 30. It's like, geez, like, give them something, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, those two, I mean, hopefully something happens to them in the future. Maybe in 10th anniversary, who knows?
I mean, assuming that this game is going to last that long, although with its track record right now of becoming even more and more free-to-play friendly and becoming less grindy, I think there's a possibility that this game could be one of the few that could reach the 10-year mark.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Is there a mobile game that has reached uh 10 years? Like did Brave Frontier even reach 10 years?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. But did Record Keeper or the other Final Fantasy game Brave Exvius reach 10 years yet?
No, because Brave Exvius came out in 2016, mid 2016, and then Record Keeper came out early 2015. So they have a few more years until they're about to hit the 10-year mark. So they're not quite there yet, but they're almost there. But yeah, I don't recall a game like being like at the 10-year mark just yet, like a mobile game.
Yeah.
So I mean, if DFFOO keeps up what they're doing, I think it's very possible that they can actually last that long.
But,
yeah.
But let's talk about the new Spiritus difficulty. I don't think the Spiritus difficulty is going to be much of a problem in like hindsight, because with the current power we have, unless they make it so that the bosses have like the boss has like several like immune phases like in HP thresholds, then it won't be as like tricky to beat, because I've seen some of the the current power we have. If you BT phase, you pretty much have won the game.
Right.
Beat the fight.
Right.
And S rank is probably going to be pretty easy to achieve if you've been doing the same strat that I've been using and like a lot of other people have been using for a while. The God Squad is not. I don't think the God Squad is going to be taken down anytime soon. I mean, they've hampered Cam a couple times, but there
were ways around it.
Yeah, I mean, you can still bring Cam. You just don't. I mean, if they're immune to launch, okay, that's fine. Just BT with Tidus, and you still got enough damage. The team already has absurd amount of damage as is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's I mean, we'll just have to see when it comes out, but I don't foresee it being too overly like I don't foresee it being like a big step from Shinryu, right? I still think that that similar strategies of being able to rack up the FR gauge as fast as you can, and as long as there's not a lot of like multiple BS mechanics or like HP, like they're immune to HP damage, which I actually think that was a way to balance it, where you had to do something to get them away, to get them from being immune to HP damage. Like for example, I think, which fight was it? Was it the fight against Cloud of Darkness and the was it the It was Cloud of Darkness and the Eye, right?
Yeah, I know Cloud of Darkness, if you let her FR go off, or I think some other mechanic, or if she survived at some point, she basically healed 50% of whatever damage you dealt, which was usually a GG, like time to restart for some people, or they couldn't hold out because you just keep doing too much damage, and then she healed back up to full.
Right. Or no, who was the one where like there was a fight, I think it might have been a raid, where you couldn't deal them any HP damage until you delayed them.
Oh, the Scorpion raid. I think that was with Cloud Darkness FR release.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that they put gates like that, because it did get to a point where it's like the force weapon mechanic was just so powerful that even though we arrived to a new difficulty, it's like you can deal like over 200 million damage like it was nothing with a specific team comp, and like the Shinryu stage just goes burr. It's not even a challenge. So I'm glad that they're implementing at least a little bit of a challenge with these HP gates, which is something that I would like to see, honestly, with this Spiritus difficulty for the summons. I think it would be nice to see some kind of a change like that, so then that way, players are challenged. It's nice to have a little bit of a challenge where it's kind of like this puzzle where you have to find the piece or find the clue that's able to get you, over that obstacle that's in front of you. So
yeah, and
hopefully they do something like that.
And hopefully the hard part isn't just figuring out how to set up your call abilities right when that happens, so then you don't just, because usually that's been the only quote unquote hard part, which is setting up your call abilities and BT effects up, so then you can just go burr.
Right, yeah.
Besides that, I do like how they have the grade system, and I mean, hopefully no one gets a D, because that's barely passing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see issues with the grade system as far as like bragging rights, because there are those players that like to brag. We've all had those moments, you know what I mean? But at the same time,
it is nice that
I'm glad it's permanent content.
Yeah, it's nice that
right?
you still get some reward, even if you don't beat the fight or even get to like you don't kill the boss. If you get to elite, I think the lowest we can go maybe at this point that we know of is C, but we'll find out once the fight comes out, and like if you happen to like mess up accidentally and die when the boss has like 5 or 1%, we'll find out what grade you get.
Yeah. So, and again, guys, remember this. Those of you that play JP and or are looking to get into JP, don't expect to get S rank right away, only because it's not realistic. Build up to it. It's permanent content, just like all the other different World of Illusions content. And I do have to give a shout out to Kuya Brown Pants for subbing for 2 months. Thank you so much for that resub.
Yeah. So,
but
like that's great. I mean, all we know is that if you do it in low enemy turns, and deal lots of damage, you clear the individual requirements of like no KOs, a certain amount of HP damage taken, and you beat it within the turn count, you should be able to get an S grade.
Right.
Yeah. Besides that, the missions don't seem too hard to beat. I mean, it's gonna take some like grinding, like usual with the summon boards. I mean, the conditions that they showed off was like using 3 specific crystals, and I think you can pretty much focus each one of those panels down if you need to, if you only have like a couple left. Like I think the example they showed was like if they had Warrior of Light, or no, I think it was Cloud, Vivi, and Ishtola, and then there was ×2 bonus for stage because they had 2 stave units in the party.
Right. And I think I misquoted that on my video that I put out this morning, but I was like, well, what did that have to do with anything? But now that makes sense. So pretty much what Blobs is talking about, and I misquoted this on the video that I put out, is there's going to be these quests, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's going to be these quests when this new Spiritus difficulty comes out with World of Illusions, where your level 20 summon, you clear like this quest, I think it's like once or twice, and it gets them to level 30. And then afterwards, you clear the second quest twice, and it gets them from 30 to 40. And if you use the specific characters, the specific requirements they ask for, you actually get more of the materials. So it'll make the process even easier. So I think that's what they're doing. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I said that correctly.
I'm not sure if that... Well, that sounds about right, but I'm not sure if I saw that part.
Okay.
But all I know is that from the actual new summon board stuff is like they have 3 missions, which was if you beat a Chaos, beat the Spiritus, and beat the Lufenia, you get some keys, and then the rest of it is based on that bingo board kind of thing. But I'm not too sure if they did have a catch-up system for the summon boards to get them from like 20 to 40 quickly.
Okay, I thought I saw something like that, but like I said, I guess we'll just have to see, when this actually comes out, and it's coming out soon.
Yeah, it comes out Sunday night for us.
Yeah. Oh, so all of that stuff is dropping Sunday night. So there's a chance that even the global stuff will literally drop right after the community stream. Oh wow, Sunday is gonna be busy, guys. It's gonna be a busy day for DFFOO.
6 o'clock for us.
So be sure to be ready.
Global first stuff, and then Sunday night we get all the JP stuff. So it's gonna be very hectic. But do you want to?
Yeah.
But you excited for who's coming? The BT unit and FR unit coming with the Brothers event.
I'm definitely excited for Tifa, BT, and FR, and I'm also excited for the costume that is based off of her costume that she wore in Remake.
That's gonna generate a lot of money for the game.
Absolutely, that's fan service galore right there. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Tifa is not even my favorite female character, but I still like her over Aerith. Sorry, Aerith fans, I take Tifa over Aerith. But yeah, no, I'm super excited, and I'm glad that they went with a character that's massively popular, like legit, like massively popular, because it's freaking Tifa. You know what I mean? She's a massively popular character, and I think that it's a great way to draw players to actually support the game monetarily. with that costume and with a new weapon. And we all know that Tifa is about to break the game again, like she did when she first got her LD. I mean, my goodness, when she first got that LD, everyone was like, wow, this character went from I'm just here to launch and beat up skeletons to I'm actually like, my goodness, I'm surpassing burst damage phases with my own skills without even having a burst. And now she's finally getting a burst in FR. So I'm very excited for her. And I'm really, really excited for what she's going to be able to do.
Looking, and I'm glad that she's getting that costume in the game. And so far, everyone that I've shown like that image of like the pole banner and her costume and the news to have been all like, oh my god, I'm starting a JP account. Even people who it's like I'm starting my GP account, starting logging back in and getting enough resources so that I can pull
Yep. I mean, that's why I said like now's the time to download freaking JP, because you're gonna have a good time if you start a brand new JP account. And there is something that's coming out for the 5-year anniversary that makes it even more enticing to start a JP account. And when we get to that, I'll tell you guys why it's a very enticing time to if you guys are interested to start it. But anyways, what else are we covering here, Blobs? What else is coming out?
So they did tell us what the T's like BT effect and FR does. So I mean, FR conditions are pretty simple. If you do single target damage, it increases the FR HP damage bonus. If you do crit damage, it increases it as well. So it's pretty easy requirements. The BT effect seems really busted, and even more busted when you see the actual like effect. But that's subject to change because that's data mine translated info. So, but essentially the BT effect for Tifa, she's going to be dealing 2 follow-up attacks, and everything is water kick and somersault. And then for the rest of the party, you get some like brave damage and HP damage cap up buffs. But if you're using skills that only do single target, then you can then the effects for the single target brave damage buffs are increased as well. And thank you, Zeta, for doing all the translations for all the earlier information. But do you want me to cover like some of the new information that was translated recently?
Yeah, go ahead. And yeah, thank you so much again, guys. Zeta Kai, or he's actually in chat right now, Zeta Gundam Mastly. The Super Robot Wars Guru is also our resident translator for anything that has to do with JP Abra Omnia. So thank you so much to him for taking the time out of his day to do this for us and translate it and make it available for us to understand and read what's going to be coming out to JP from time and time again. So thank you so much to Zeta. But yeah, go ahead, Blobs. Go ahead and what's happening with Tifa?
Yeah, so if you guys don't want to be spoiled or just want to be surprised when the trailer comes out, I would mute now. But I'll give people like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so essentially, Tifa is. Let me just double check, make sure this is right, so that I don't get it wrong. So with her BT effect, Water Kick is going to be doing a 4-hit melee brave plus HP attack, executed 3 times, and has 20% brave heal. Followed by Somersault, which is going to be 6-hit melee brave plus HP attack, executed 3 times with 20% brave heal. And the party BT effect is 50% brave damage up, 60% if you're doing single target, 50% brave damage cap up, and 80% if you're doing if it's versus single target, 20% overflow up and 50% if it's versus single target, and then this straight flat 30% HP damage cap up.
Wow. So she does 6 HP dumps while her BT effect is up, and they have a significant amount of hits behind him, especially Somersault. 6 brave hits before the HP attack, so she does 6 HP attacks total with a lot of HP attacks before them, brave heals, and then gives you 80% brave damage cap against a single target, and 50% if it's not. That's massive.
Essentially,
that's insane.
Her BT effect is going to make you cap and brave no matter what, and that's not it. Not all of it either. Her BT finisher attack, Final Heaven, is one of the good BT effects. It's like Cloud and Zax and Tidus, where it has 12 HP dumps in between each when she does the attack. So when the FR is up, you're going to be OHKOing the bosses no matter what. It's going to be doing like 20 million or like 30 million or insane amount of brave damage with it up.
That's right.
FF7 has some really good BT finishers.
Yeah, because so if you guys are not aware, the reason why you see characters like Tidus and Cloud being used in their burst phase while the FR gauge is up is because their finish burst, they deal multiple like brave plus HP hits, not just like 2 dumps where like most characters have 2 dumps. They deal multiple. So Tifa is one of those characters where if the FR gauge is up, if she's fulfilling the whatever the force gauge that is up with the requirements, and then she does the finisher, that's a huge amount of damage because she's dealing multiple HP attacks with the finish burst. So it's a great way to really take advantage of like an FR gauge that is like charged up to like 600, 700, 800%. It's insane. That is absolutely insane. I can't believe, I mean, they're doing the fans a service. They're making her just absolutely busted, which, from a business perspective and from a fan service perspective, they're doing a really good job of it.
Yeah, and speaking of the FR gauge, her FR damage percentage are pretty good. So if you did deal single target brave damage, it's increased by 30%, and if you do crit damage, it's increased by another 30%. So you have 60% right there, not including the FR boards that are going to increase it even further. So that seems pretty good to me. I think Tifa's going to be knocking Tidus off his pedestal.
Yeah, I could see that happening. And I mean, you could always run. So if you run like a slower character in the team, I could see Kate Sith Call being useful to keeping those requirements active. For any character, whenever a character deals damage during the force gauge time with Tifa. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't expect her to get another rework, but her rework essentially it's still pretty minor. But essentially what it does is it's going to be that all her skills go from like whatever brave heal they were before to 50% brave heal on each one of her skills, like Beat Rush, Battle Cry, her LD, Meteor Crusher, Dolphin Blow has 50%. Well, actually, wait, no, Dolphin Blow is her brave attacks, and her Full Throttle is her HP attacks, I think.
Yes. You're right.
But her LD, like Full Throttle HP attack, is going to have 6 HP dumps and a 50% brave heal. So whenever you click that free skill, the HP plus, it's going to be hitting ridiculously hard. So you don't feel bad doing like only 1 HP dump like I used to before.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to be a monster.
Yeah, well, it's a great way for them to, again, market the character, get more people to play, and also great way to introduce us to this brand new difficulties. I really hope that the new difficulty will scale to how powerful Tifa is, or to just how powerful Force Gauge is in general. I really hope it does.
I'm betting that the boss is going to have over 200 million HP just to compensate for Tifa's insane damage.
I mean, they have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
have to.
A million, it's going to die too quickly.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
Now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, Tifa is insane.
Yep. But let's see. Beyond that, they showed off Lloyd or Ludo FR, which is
yeah.
I mean, I'm honestly gonna skip it. I had him when he came out, and when he first came out in JP, liked him, but now he was a stepping stone to get me up to like with the cool BTs and rely on those. But yeah, I'm glad that he's getting a rework though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid character. I think right now, he's a character where he's great, but he's looks better on paper because we're, especially in global right now, we're at a time where a lot of characters are very self-sufficient and they could carry their own weight without needing too much hand-holding in this current easy Lufenia Plus era. So honestly, I feel like as a support, like a versatile support, Ryudo or Liud, however you want to call him, is semi-overkill as far as what he does. You don't really get to see what he can do unless you take characters that are really basura, like Shantoto. Yeah, like that's when you could really see, oh wow, like Liud is really shining here because we're taking a character who's clearly underwhelming, and they're actually showing a decent amount of performance because they have this character helping them out. Where if you take Ryudo with a character like, let's say in the future, Zack, who's getting his BT plus in global, you won't really see those benefits because Zack is so self-sufficient, or Locke is so self-sufficient. Machina even is fairly self-sufficient, so you don't really get to see the value that Ryudo brings. So he's one of those characters where we're at this point where he's great to have, but he's not really necessary. But he's good regardless as like a support. And I am curious to see what he can actually bring for Shinryu now that we know that he's getting a rework and he's getting an FR, because I want to see if support can actually be fairly important again. It's still an important role, but I think it's been minimized a bit more so with the recent content that we've seen on both sides of the game. So hopefully we'll see something with him. But like I said, he's a cool character. Glad he's getting a rework. Glad he's getting an FR. And from what I understand here, his FR increases when when a character has a base buff. Like they have a buff where it stacks pretty much, is active, and also while they're healing on that turn. So that's like, so it's a interesting way to increase the gates. Like I guess it's more creative than just doing like a specific kind of damage or something like that. But I guess you got to play around with it too.
Yeah, I thought that they would specialize and say like, oh, if you use a EX skill, then you increase the FR gauge by a lot more. Because I personally see Lloyd as an EX like charger, like a really efficient EX charger, which I mean, he really does shine in that. You spam charge the EX on every single character and then just keep pressing those, because those EX skills now are much, much stronger. Like if you use him with Strago, or who else has a really good
Null
EX? Yeah, Null, Tifa and JP with her Dolphin Blow doing like 6 dumps, like too many dumps and launching. Essentially, there's like a lot of characters with their EXs that they do a lot of damage. But yeah, kind of sad that it's like they didn't do that. But I mean, it's okay. It's a pretty generic FR like requirement, so it's pretty good for them. Whoever gets it to just build up the gauge.
Absolutely, and another character is getting an FR that we can touch up on, right?
Yep, Arden. I'm very.
It's about time.
Yep, I'm surprised that him and like a few others like Golbez and Garland, and unfortunately a tiny little person hasn't gone C90, and like one of going to be the very few last characters to get C90, and I think Garland has already been shown to be in the banner with Arden, so unfortunately Shantoto might be the last picking.
They do her dirt. They better. I'm already preparing myself for disappointment for Shantoto 90 and FR. I'm sorry. I'm already preparing myself for disappointment because, even when they released her early rework or whatever it was on global, it didn't really make that much of an impact. She wasn't used. She wasn't used over like some of the characters that we already had. So I have very low expectations, but hopefully they come through. But I'm not holding my breath for anything for Toto. But yeah, guys, Arden is getting an FR.
Yep, and a rework.
Yep, and a rework. And what does it do? All targets break status. Their break status earlier. So what? What does that necessarily mean?
So like how like it takes a couple turns for the break status for like a character. It might take like 4 or 5 turns for the re-break status to reset. That just shortens it to point like, I don't know if it's going to be like 2 turns and then it's so then they could be rebroken again, so that other characters who can't re-break without giving characters like Sephiroth's BT effect and be busted like that to enable them to be part of the FR condition, so then they can help along. And then beyond that, it's HP damage bonus increases when party breaks a target and using a melee command. So that's just, I mean, those 2 components are the main meat and potatoes of it. So if you break them, you're going to be doing a lot more damage. No, not more damage. Well, you're increasing the FR HP damage percentage, and if you're doing melee, then you increase it even more.
So Vayne.
Yeah, Vayne.
Pair him with Vayne.
Yeah, pair him with Vayne, or Sephiroth BT effect.
Yeah, or even have Core in there for the mix, and with Vayne Core Arden, there you go. There you go.
And Gabranth. And
Gabranth. Gabranth is another one. Actually, can Tidus fill that?
Technically yes. His
kind of
break is with his BT plus up. Every other turn. So
Oh yeah, Null too. Somebody mentioned Null. Yeah, Null can do
definitely
that
Null.
too. Yeah. I actually think that FR condition is seeing that it's easy to fulfill can be pretty powerful and pretty abusable.
Yeah.
For one of the FRs that's coming out for this 5th anniversary. So
these FR characters with the BT plus characters seem like a little bit more specialized with their kits, but at the same time they seem really strong if you end up having their BT pluses and their FRs together. I mean, you saw Vayne,
right.
Cloud Darkness, their FRs conditions are really specific for their kits, but they really enable a lot of damage if you set them up correctly. Like Vayne's FR HP damage percentage, you can increase by 80% per turn, or even more if you have the right setup. Cloud Darkness, you can set it up over 100% in a couple actions if you set her up even better and even more. And but I'm expecting Arden's percentages to be even easier. I mean, it should be easy to fulfill and get those high damage percentage numbers.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And it's good that it's good that he's getting, I really think it's cool that he's getting an FR with a condition that is based around his kit. I really think that's really cool.
And I'm also glad that they debunked the rumor of his partner being with Vayne again. So and then that just means that they're not going to be recycling the animation with Vayne's. And his partner is with Leon, so that's a good. That's good to see that they have a new animation for him.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
after that, we're going to get some new anniversary stuff. So the 5-year anniversary co-op, which is going to have a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of good materials that a lot of characters, a lot of people need, like those high power stones, tickets, BT nuggets, high armor tokens, everything. A lot of this good stuff that a lot of people will want. And there's 2 halves of it. First is going to be when the anniversary comes out, and second when Valentine's Day or when Transcendence 11 comes out.
Yeah, there's a lot of things coming out. The big thing that I really wanted to touch up on, I mean, we know that with an anniversary, we're going to have a special co-op. They're going to have, bundles. They're going to have, increased tokens for the daily tokens. It's just typical that they have stuff like. But I think the biggest thing that I want to cover is that 50+1 with a guaranteed burst, and it's all golds only.
Yep.
And not only that, you have a higher chance of getting an EX or higher. So EX, LD, and even force weapons have a higher chance of appearing. So the way that this works, guys, is there's a brand new animation for this particular 50+1 summon. It's pretty much, it does look awesome. It's 5 10 pulls. Everything you get is going to be a gold. And then at the very end, on the 5th pull, it's going to give you a guaranteed burst. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this particular banner is we've been talking about people that are getting interested now in playing JP. Well, guess what, guys? For those of you that like to re-roll, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Not even that. This will give you a ton more gems indirectly from if you're a new player by just unlocking all those characters and getting them up to 70. You're gonna get too many gems. You're gonna get
exactly.
to almost pity a character.
Is FR guaranteed? Someone's asking if FR is FR is not guaranteed.
No, the only thing guaranteed is just golds. It's just
and a burst at the end.
Yeah, and those are the only 2 things that are guaranteed. They just showcase that it's possible to get FRs in it. But yeah,
yes,
I've already seen some meme photos of people showing 50 of FRs in the photo, and the BT, or just 50 BTs in the photo as well. Anyone who gets multiple BTs in this people, you won.
Exactly, or even multiple FR. So again, guys, it's all golds. At the 5th multi, the 5th 10 multi, you get a guaranteed burst, and EX and higher weapons. So EX, LD, and FR and bursts have a higher chance of appearing too. So you won't get any silvers, you won't get any bronzes, and it's free. But it's only a one-time thing. It's free. But the thing is that for those of you that enjoy re-rolling and you want to try JP, well, there you go. And to top it off, let's put this into perspective. If you're a brand new player, right, with all the upgrades they've given to you for 5th anniversary JP, and you're entering this as a brand new player, you have your 50+1 with a guaranteed burst. You can reroll on that. When you complete Act 1, Chapter 1 tutorial, instead of getting 10,000 gems, you get 20,000 gems. For doing co-ops, you get the first co-op player meet reset. You can get up to 5,000 gems there. And not only that, characters that you unlock after you beat the tutorial are automatically unlocked to level 70, and you still get the gems and the co-op the World of Illusions potions that you get for getting every 10 levels for a character. Just think about how much you're getting as a brand new player entering JP Opera Omnia if you decide to start.
You're gonna have a lot of tickets.
It's a lot.
A lot of gems overflowing and not knowing what to do with it.
It is a lot. It's an overwhelmingly it's overwhelming as far as like free resources. Yeah,
even for veteran players like you and me, 40, that free guaranteed BT means 5 free BT tokens, and for me personally, that's going to be enough to enable me to pity to token the Tifa's BT. I'm at the very edge of need one more challenge quest and 5 more BT tokens, and then I can get the BT. So that saves me a lot of gems from needing to pity the BT if I need to.
Yep.
But it's also nice that they're including all the weapons up to core. So that last event till now.
Oh yeah, there you go. So I think what they're also doing. So guys, on top of the 50+1 with the guaranteed BT, they're also doing free daily multi, and the banner that's featured for that has every single weapon up until the very recent one, which is core, and they also have every single FR weapon in that banner. So you guys are wondering, oh, can I get FR weapons? Well, it's possible because you also have that coming out too. So.
But I personally have never seen an LD appear, or even a dupe LD from the last JP anniversary or the global anniversary, like those banners. Have you?
Yeah, it's a great time to know. It's a great time to know that this is coming out, and for some of us that have skipped some banners, it's a nice way to see that, oh wow, I actually have a chance of getting what I missed because they're giving us so much for this anniversary. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, for me, I just get those banners are usually a way for me to get a lot of extra power stones. But if I get a new FR that I didn't have, cool, I'm happy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I gotta address a comment. I mean, yeah, the rates are not the greatest for FRs, but it's still free. It is still free.
Yeah, if you happen to get it, it's just a cherry on top of it. Like I said before, on the last year's anniversary, I never saw one LD, not even a dupe LD, appear on those daily multi banners. It's just RNG. Some people got a couple new LDs on it. It's based on RNG. If you're lucky, you're lucky.
Right. But I mean, if you look at it in perspective and compare the rates of gacha from DFFOO to other games, DFFOO still has them beat when it comes to generosity and when it comes to RNG rates. They still have them beat.
They keep coming back to DFFOO because of the good pull system and rates.
Exactly. So, anything else that you wanted to cover?
Not really. Unless you want to talk about that. There's one only teased character coming out for the mid-month BT, which is also getting people kind of torn when to figure out how to use their gems for this month. You want to say?
Okay, yeah, I guess I mean, well, it's gonna go on your channel, so maybe you should say it.
So, it's Renoa as a tease character for the mid-month BT. So, if you're torn between Tifa and Renoa, then this is where you probably want to have your BT tokens and 125k gems ready, because they seem to be treating them really well. And beyond that, there's Aerith intertwined Will right after Transcendence 11, so there's possibly going to be a lot of pities if this happens during this month.
Exactly, and then there was a character that I forgot to mention because honestly I didn't read it. It was in the translations, and I didn't mention it on my video. But I actually cannot believe that. I can't believe this. Oh, okay. To be fair, it's actually kind of cool that this character is going to be coming out to JP Opera Omnia, and I was memeing that this character could be a global first because it's a great way to promote the game. But apparently, Jack Chaos I want to fight chaos is coming out to JP Opera Omnia.
Yeah, the game hasn't even come out yet, but
the game hasn't even come out yet.
Celebrating or to promote the game. I mean, I saw a couple memes of that character already saying that, but he's already in the game. Yeah, look, Core's in the game already.
Because he looks like Core. Because he looks like Core. That's right. He looks like Core. He does.
Yeah. They just some information about him coming out is going to be coming out in March, but when the game comes out, it's coming out then. But beyond that, yeah, it's nice that they're putting in new characters, and hopefully we get bootleg Prompto as well.
I know, right? By the way, Darkin, Kanji, thank you for the follow. But yeah, guys, at this point, Riku's a meme. I'm sorry. She's a meme. She is a meme.
I saw who the global force is going to be in Riku. Who knows? Maybe they're keeping a secret. I don't know.
I still think so. I guess we're going to touch up on that right now before we end this little impromptu podcast.
Yeah.
You want to touch up on that? Yeah, so go ahead. You can talk about
so if anyone doesn't want to be spoiled
speculation.
for Global First, just mute now, and then this is probably going to be the last thing we're going to touch on the podcast. But if you did, thank you for watching and listening. But the new Global First event, they're pushing Therian and Locke banners by 2 weeks. So which means they're introducing a new BT cycle, and that new BT cycle is rumored to be Garnet. And with Aiko in the animation, and the only thing that the additional information was that she does a new additional attack with her BT.
Yeah, so I'm treating that as it's in the data, but it's still purely speculation because we really won't know until we actually watch
Sunday,
the stream. Yeah.
If it is true, that means that's very high for a global because they're getting not just a new BT, but entirely new banners, entirely new characters, or new C90s, or maybe, who knows, maybe Shantoto early C90 in global.
Maybe, that would be, or early Onion Knight rework.
Yeah, as well as, Onion Knight rework. This basically just whole new banners for the entire cycle.
Yeah. So, my thoughts on that, because I saw a meme that was posted on a Facebook group of like people that are de-hyped if that's actually like going to be something. Think of it this way again. They could just decide to give us nothing, which would not bode well for them.
I've seen games where they do terrible anniversaries where they give you just like remedial banners that don't really add to anything to your character.
Exactly.
Account, and then leave it at that. Or they could be like the meme of like a certain game like Genshin that they barely gave you anything.
Yeah, exactly. No, I look at it from a way of like they're giving us something that's still brand new. The character is actually no, Garnet's pretty popular. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go out to say that she's a very popular character. Final Fantasy IX. Yeah, absolutely. And I think if the speculation is real, it's also going to be really cool to see just how powerful this BT is, and it's going to be powerful.
Yes,
we've all seen
how
powerful Anniversary Global First content that's been released. It's powerful.
That's new to Global usually lasts a while. I mean, how long did Core last?
He's still lasting
till now. He's still being used.
He's still really good. Yeah. So, yeah. But I also still think that, like how they did last year with Anniversary, we could potentially be getting something else on top of that.
Yep, they don't have to like reveal everything, or they could and just like give us extreme amounts of hype and then we all pass out from too much hype. But that'd be
awesome. Yeah.
So, which means that there's still possibilities of even newer characters or even secret characters from Datamine Purgatory to be,
exactly.
let out finally.
I know.
That is awesome. So which means Hipal, Global First is possible.
Global First Hipal, guys. Got a hashtag Global First Hipal. But yeah, no, I mean, even if the speculation is gonna come to fruition or not, I think regardless, we're gonna get some. We know we're expected to get something Global First, and I think we should be very excited for whatever it is, whether it's Garnet BT, Global First, or if it's gonna be something else, or it could be something on top of Garnet Global First BT. So all in all, it's going to be great, and I'm very excited for what they're going to be announcing on Sunday for global. It's gonna be quite a stream.
Yep,
To watch.
I'm excited for both banners, and just final thoughts. Excited, and they definitely did bring up a lot of hype, even though the global anniversary hasn't started yet, or even information hasn't started yet. But it's just very, very exciting with what's coming.
Yeah, for sure. My thoughts is that I'm excited too. Watch out for hot takes.
Yep.
But if you see any hot takes, don't go attacking each other for it.
Yes.
Just try to educate your fellow community before putting them on struggle tweets.
Just,
I'm guilty of that
like,
too. Don't worry.
Safe places, like safe places, communities where your opinion is not going to be criticized heavily, and or you're not going to really see those kind of like ignorant posts.
Right. If you guys want to be a part of, I do have a Discord, and Blobs, who's one of my longtime friends and also one of my admins, is also there too. We do have a really cool community there, and a lot of knowledgeable players from both the JP and the global side of the game. If you guys want to have discussions or anything about the City Opera Omnia, we also play other games there too. So be sure to, if you guys want to join a cool community, check out my Discord. But anyways, Blobs, how do you want to close this off?
Thank you, 40, for joining me on this special anniversary podcast episode, and if anyone's listening to this on my YouTube, I'll leave 40's links in the description, and his Discord and all that, and stay tuned next time. Thank you, 40, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to link them to your YouTube channel. Blobs is up and coming. He's also going to be planning on streaming on Twitch, I believe. So be sure to send him some love and check out his channel. And you can also talk to him on my Discord. And he's also in my Twitch chats, modding and just talking with you guys every time I stream. So thank you, Blobs. This was awesome.
Thank you. Have a good one.